like the first 125 people that posted our hobbies,
Mm-hmm.
okay, would be entered into a drawing for a souvenir of the coin show, a real souvenir of the coin show.
Oh, it can only be a couple things. We don't
There
have.
really can only be, I think, like one. Well, no, there's a couple of things, but it's like if you're talking about my scripts from the World's Fair of Money, I'm not parting with those. Those are
Yeah.
mine. You know, that's what I draw the line at. But there was we got the opportunity to spend some time with Dave Bowers, and we got him and Chris Karstedt and all the guests that were on our first show
Yeah.
to autograph a dollar bill for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we auctioned a couple of them off for charity.
Yeah.
You have one, I have one,
That's right.
and a couple left over.
Oh, just kind of chilling in the mic vault.
Like, well, so I figured that I would take this out. And the funny thing is that the people and friends don't even know what the prize is yet.
That's right.
Still don't know. There's 328 members, so I said, okay, well, you know, we'll let 125 people in. And I think to this point, I've got like 38 answers.
Hey,
I've got 24 comments. I take that back. 24 comments. There's probably 20 people that are right. And out of those 20 people, one of them is going to end up with a dollar bill signed by you, me,
Yep.
Jake, Chris Karstedt, Q. David Bowers, Dennis Tucker, all the guests from our first show at the World's Fair.
A variable who's who of coin show history.
Yes, and you know, and I just thought that was going to be a really cool decision. It's unfortunate, but this is the kind of stuff. See, I started out when we had a Twitter account. I was like, look, pay attention to Twitter. You're going to see rants there. You're going to see things that you won't see anyplace else. And
How'd that work
some
out?
people did. You're laughing.
Yes, yes.
And so then we created this closed group on Facebook called Friends of the Coin Show. And I have to tell you that you and I are probably more active there than we are anyplace else.
Yeah, because we have the regular coin show page, and it's got a ton of likes.
Over 11,000.
Yeah, I think we have more likes than PCGS if I remember right. But
no cap.
But the problem with that is that that page only allows us to interact with certain people without paying for it, and that's lame.
Right.
We do this for fun out of our own pocket. I'm not going to pay to talk to people that like the show. So Mike came up with the idea to make a group where we could interact with everybody, and it's really awesome.
And everybody sees every post. That was really important to me.
Yeah, yeah.
That it wasn't just you're going to see some of it. Because we did some stuff with content distribution for a while. We did all kinds of different things where we tried to reach out to people. We tried to figure out the best way to just interact with the people that like the show.
And it's really fun. People post their new coins. People post all sorts of fun stuff. We get inspiration for some of our news stories. We get inspiration for the segments come from this page. So if you have a Facebook account and you're not on here and you listen to the show, you should probably join.
You should join Friends of the Coin Show. You never know what it's going to mean to you at some point. And just so people knew, the answer to the contest was that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I digress. I went on a tangent.
No. I wanted you to go on a tangent. That was perfectly fine. But just because I wanted to disclose it here on the show and make people jealous that the answer that we were looking for, the phrase that pays to somebody, was that Matt collects World War II memorabilia.
Yes, I do.
And I bowl.
Yep. That bowling was tricky.
It was.
You asked me, and I was like, books?
Yeah, that was things I asked you and you didn't know. And I made a comment in one of the comments that people made that I spend probably 12 hours a week doing my hobby, doing bowling. And somebody actually came on and they were like, "Really, Mike?" He says, "I'm going with Matt collects military," and Mike is a bowler, but 12 hours? Really?
Yep.
And my wife came on and said, "Sometimes, some weeks, many hours more." So that should tell you how true that is. I spent a lot of time doing that.
Well, that's awesome. And we got to have something else in our lives.
We do.
Coins are awesome. I love them.
But everybody needs a break. And
But I had a guy the other day. Well, I might have told this story before, but it wasn't the other day. It was a while ago, and I was in the coin club. I was doing, in Indianapolis. I was really into it, and I just got to the point where I couldn't maintain it going and being active. And one of the guys in the club was a lawyer, and he asked me, "Hey, man, why'd you quit coming to the club?" And I said, "Well, think about this. How would you like to be a lawyer all day and then go to a lawyer meeting for fun?" I said, "I got to find something else to do. I love this stuff. I do it all the time. You guys ever need anything, let me know. I'm happy to help, but there's just got to be something else for me." So,
And there is, and it's great because you have your boys,
yep.
but the problem is that every once in a while you're going to need to escape them too.
Yep.
So
every once in a while
yeah,
is an understatement.
yes. Well, they're 3 boys.
I have 3 boys. They're getting ready to be 3, 5, and 7.
That's getting ready to be cuckoo.
Yeah, getting ready to be is also an understatement. I don't think I've shaved in like 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen you with a beard.
I know. It's in full swing.
You got the Evan beard going?
I'm getting there.
Really?
I'm working on it.
You gotta snap an iPhone picture. Put it on Friends.
Oh,
come on.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
You open.
Dude, I look like Nanook of the North.
So
I look like Grizzly Adams.
So what?
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, you're not gonna do it. I'm not gonna have
see.
to bother you. I know I'm gonna have to bother you about it.
It's possible, but that's half the fun, right?
It is. Well, for me it is. Not for you.
Yes. So, anyways, that was the contest. Now let's get to everybody's favorite segment.
Yeah, man. Let's get to everybody's favorite segment.
I was wondering what was going to happen.
Well, what I did is I actually went to CoinShowRadio.com.
You did?
And I went to
You cheated?
the What Walked In Matt's Gallery.
You cheated.
But I was rewarded by my cheating.
Yeah, that's true.
And
because I for once actually got it up before we even recorded the show.
You said that. I may have left it in, but you said that.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
So if you go to CoinShowRadio.com and you look at the What Walked In Matt's Gallery, you will see what I'm looking at right now, which is the coolest thing to walk into Matt's shop this week. And this one I have to say, pretty darn cool.
I thought it was neat, and it's not neat. It's not the coolest, most expensive, darndest thing that walked into the shop this week. This is just cool. And it was funny that we were talking about that bicentennial quarter earlier because this is directly up that coin's alley.
Yes, it is.
So this coin that walked in this week is a 1968 quarter, and it's actually a Denver quarter, made in Denver.
Do you know what mint?
Yep, made in Denver. And this coin is rather interesting because it is a mint error, but it's actually 2 separate mint errors on one coin, which is kind of cool. So, Mike, do you know what a center S-I-N-T-E-R-E-D planchet is?
Well, no, I thought it was somebody misspelled centered.
No. So, coins, as they go through their process from becoming a roll of metal to becoming blanks to becoming coins, go through a process which is called annealing. And these coins go into a furnace, they get heated up and they cool off, and it makes the metal a little more malleable. So when they strike the coins, they strike up better. So there's a furnace, coins go through it, they come out, they cool off, they're ready to be struck. So occasionally you'll get a coin or a batch of coins or a planchet singly that spends too much time in the furnace. And in this furnace, there's all sorts of stuff in there from all the other coins that have gone through it. So this particular coin is a 1968 D quarter that was struck on a center, S-I-N-T-E-R-E-D, centered planchet. The strange part about this particular coin is it is not struck on a centered quarter planchet. It's struck on a centered nickel planchet.
That's the other thing that I noticed about right away is that it had to be struck on the wrong planchet because you don't see the entirety of the coin.
Mm-hmm. So when these coins get centered, basically there's all sorts of different things floating around in this furnace, and if the coins spend too long in there, these, like, for example, copper dust coming off of the plating on the planchets or whatnot, or at this particular point was actually copper planchets. So this nickel went in there, and as it sat in the furnace, it bonded with some of the copper dust that was floating around inside the furnace, and gave the coin kind of a coppery tinge. And that's really the best way to put it. So it has a slightly splotchy copper look to the surface on the obverse especially. But you can also see the nickel from the nickel planchet showing through the copper. And then the reverse is actually fairly copper free, just a little bit down at the bottom. So anyway, it's kind of neat because it's two different kinds of airs on the same coin. Two completely different kinds of airs that have nothing to do with each other on the same kind of coin.
And I think that the coin is in and of itself a learning experience. And there's a couple of things that are really neat about this. Had this been struck on a quarter planchet, or had it been struck on a dime planchet, or even a $50 planchet, well, it could have been, on a quarter or a dime planchet, there would be a sandwich type coin in the thing. So there would be a 3-layered coin with a clad layer and then a copper layer. This was struck on a nickel, which a lot of people don't realize is 75% copper. Mm-hmm. So the majority of this coin is copper, and it is what's the word I'm looking for? It is homogeneous throughout. The mix of the alloy is the same throughout the coin.
Yes.
So
there's no layers.
Right. So there's no layers to it. There's no like copper splotches or anything like that. It is a coin that, let's face it, most of it is copper, but it shows the nickel.
Yeah.
And that is where the copper atoms from inside the firing, kind of lit on this and set to it, and it just makes a really interesting look where there is much more of a copper appearance to it. It's modeled, so it's not solid, but it is clearly copper from the color.
Yeah. And you do see the centered planchets all the time. They call them black beauties sometimes because they get really dark. They can turn black. But that error in itself is collectible. If this coin had gone through its normal nickel machine and been struck as a nickel, it would still be a collectible error because of the centered planchet itself. The cool part, though, is the fact that it went through a quarter press and ended up being struck as a quarter.
Yeah, so it's an off metal error that's on the wrong planchet that's centered on top of it.
That's exactly right, and that is why I picked it as the coolest thing, because that's cool.
Right, and there are pictures available both front and back, beautifully centered in the fact that you can see the date and the mint mark really well. You can see the denomination. I would think that the amount of force used to strike these coins, you see how much harder this material is.
Yep.
Because
it struck real well.
It didn't strike particularly well.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it's also certified as NGC MS63.
MS63. Oh, see, now there wasn't a picture. A lot of times you put a picture of the slab in there with it, but there's front and back. It's really beautiful. It's a cool coin. And, I think that that's the kind of thing that now the rule of this is it has to walk into your shop.
Yeah, it sure did.
Now, how did it walk in?
It came from another dealer in town that we deal with on a pretty regular basis.
Okay.
He got, I think he had the coin certified himself, and I don't know where he got it before that, but he definitely walked it in the store and sold it to me.
Sold it to you.
Yeah.
Now, what are your plans for it?
I don't know yet. I haven't really thought about it.
Ask the good questions.
It'll probably go on eBay at some point once I get tired of looking at it.
Well, there you go. When you get tired of looking at it, where would you post your first notice of that? Friends of the Coin Show?
I could.
See, there you go. Another souvenir from the Coin Show. Could add cachet to it.
It'll be on our website forever. So.
Well, there you go.